My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Hello, my wonderful friend. Thanks for jumping on the show with me today. I would like to explore something with you about power. I would like to explore I am power. Not my power, but you as I am power. And the difference of that and power over. Yeah. So what have you learned about power this lifetime? Has it been about having power over someone or something? Is that when you feel powerful? Do you feel powerless when someone has power over you? And that someone might not necessarily be a particular person. It could be a system. It could be rules and regulations. A lot of us, even going through the school system, have these moments of feeling so powerless, but also controlled, as though this system itself has power over you. It has power over what you have for free time. It has power over your future. It has power over your sleep schedule. Incredibly, our parents have power over us. They get to tell us when we can eat and what we can eat, and what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. We're taught at a very young age how powerless we are. And then we're supposed to reach the age of adulthood and have a sense, because we've reached the age of adulthood, that suddenly we have power. But the whole time we've learned about power, we've learned about it from power over, right? So then now, what are you supposed to have power over? You don't have kids necessarily. You've just become an adult. You're starting out in a workforce, usually at entry level. So you don't have power over others in the workforce. Your employer has power over you. Your bills, your responsibilities start to have power over you. So then what are you supposed to have power over now that you're an adult? Oh, maybe your life. Okay, so what does that look like? Control? How do you have power over your life? You develop systems of control to try and have power over it. You try to control every element around as though that's having power over it. What if none of that actually has to do with real, true power? So then you might seek your whole life to try and find something that you can have power over. I see it with even people, they have pets in their lives, and to fulfill that need to have power over something. Some people have kids for that. They get into positions of authority. Maybe they become, an officer of the law of some sort, or they become a teacher from that place of desiring power. Because once you become an adult, you're supposed to have power. That's when you finally get out of feeling so powerless, right? But for many of us, that's not correct. simply becoming adult doesn't give you a sense of power. For some, it actually, especially now with this generation, there's more fear. There's more overwhelm. There's more of a sense of feeling powerless. Yet they are adults. So this isn't to get you to a sense of feeling hopeless and feeling, like you have no power. But I would like for you to take a moment and to acknowledge this insanity, this cycle, and where are you playing this game in your own life? Are you trying to have power over your partner? Are you trying to have power over your kids? Are you trying to have power over your tasks, over your life, over your body? Whew, that's a big one. Now, these are two poles, right? So we have this one where you feel powerless. Now look at that. When do you feel powerless? When you are not allowed to make your own choices, when you have someone or something enforcing something on you that doesn't work for you, and everything else in between. When do you feel powerless? Okay. So to be powerful, you have to go to the other side of the pole, right? So to be powerful, you have to be the one making the decisions. You have to be the one making the rules. You have to be the one having power over someone or something else. Now, although many people function from these poles, and we are, let's say, programmed to follow this does not have to be your reality. This is just acknowledging the overall functioning of many people on this planet. Powerless, power over. Powerless, power over. And what have you decided will give you that power? Now you might be like, oh, I never want power over people. Okay. Maybe it's not over people, but do you want power over your bills? Your basic needs? So now you're looking for financial power. You've decided, when I have money, I will be powerful. Okay. But if part of you is resistant to having power over people or over others or over anything, which I have been, then you will actually resist having the money that would make you powerful. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you've decided, once I have a partner that supports me and I support them, I'm going to be a powerful force in the world. Okay. So then that means this only means if you're functioning on these poles. Let me be clear on that. We're going to talk about something completely different than these poles in a minute, but I want to address this. That means that if you get into a partnership, there will always be a power struggle, because if you decided that a partnership gives you power, then you will have to have power over them, or you will look to use that partnership to have power over something. And if that secretly doesn't work for you, for your morals, for the core of who you be, you will sabotage and destroy any partner, any relationship that would create such power in your life, because you've decided somewhere, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be that. Probably you decided it when you were the one feeling powerless. So what else? What else have you decided would give you power or gives you power now? Look at that career. Maybe when you climb the top, when you get to the top of the ladder, you're going to have power. You're going to have decision-making abilities, right? So if you decided that, then you will either sabotage yourself so you never achieve it if you're not actually willing to have power over, right? Or you're going to twist it into something that it really, truly does not have to be. I encourage you to look at this for yourself. I encourage you to look at what are these things that you have decided. And it's going to be same, different for everyone, because based on, where you grew up, who your parents were, the time of the world, society, all these things, you're going to have kind of decided different things give you power. Okay. So I want you to look at this. What have you decided would give you power? And when you feel powerless, those are good times to really notice that too, because you will reach for, you're like, oh my God, if I just had this, then this powerlessness would go away, right? Okay. This is something to look at so that you can get clear on where you might be functioning in this way and not even aware that you're functioning in this way. And you can start to let go, or rather step out of this pull, these two forces, like magnetic pulls. Okay. So one's going to be pulling you to be powerless, and one's going to be pulling you to have power over. And you're going to be on different places on this scale. But you can step out of this. You can actually step out of either poles where you don't have the experience of ever feeling powerless, but you also don't have to achieve a sense of having power over anything or anyone. You don't have to have power over your life, power over your employees, power over your body. Whew. Yeah. And then we come to, I am power. Just say it a few times. Say it for you, like you are addressing yourself, the infinite being. I am power. 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 Now, do you see that there is no external part in this? As you are acknowledging the power of you, you are empowering yourself. And empowered self, it has nothing to do with anyone else. You could be alone on a planet with no one around, no animal, no plant, and you could be, I am power. Because it's an acknowledgement of the infinite energy that you are. And true power is that. It is energy. It is infinite, abundant energy that you are, like powering something, right? But rather than powering outside, powering all these sources or looking for these sources to power you, you acknowledge that within your own being, you have an infinite power source. You are the power source for everything that you desire to create in your life when you're willing to be, I am power. I am power. Now, your brain might be starting to run through scenarios. Yeah, but that time I felt powerless, I was actually powerless. My hands were tied. Like, that's such a great phrase to describe how we feel, like bound. My hands were tied. I had no power there. Well, here's the thing. If you align and agree, then you're correct. You have no power there. The moment you go, I have no choice, I have no power here, You have created it as such. You've created that as your reality, and you have fed that to everyone around you as a reality. So then you will have no power. And then the only way to get out of that is to gain power, not to be power. That's the trap. You must step beyond the poles, those magnetic poles, to truly have I am power in all areas of your life. And that's why addressing and acknowledging the places where you are functioning from this is so useful for you, because you can go, okay, I'm doing this in relationship and we keep going back and forth, having power over each other, and I'm done. I'm actually not going to be that way with my partner anymore. I'm going to be the power of me and allow it to show up in the beautiful, chaotic way that it will. What's interesting about I am power and how that plays with I am control is that it does not actually involve controlling anyone or anything. It's the acknowledgement of what you already are. You are an infinite being. Infinite. And yeah, are there times where your body requires maybe more rest, or the energy has decreased or depleted in your body, your physical body? Yeah. But you are also an infinite being. Infinite. That means infinite. Endless. 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 You don't have the same requirements as your body. You don't require sleep. You don't require rest. You don't require food. You don't require water. You are infinite. You are a being that is fully energized. You are energy. The infinite being that you are in itself is infinite energy. So you already are empowered. You are power. And when you can acknowledge I am power, then the powerlessness and the power over can start to deconstruct out of your functioning and actually dissipate from your universe. Now, that doesn't mean you won't be aware when someone comes with the point of view, with the intent to have power over you. And they will. They will. They will desire it, especially when you're acknowledging the power of you. Because those that are trying to get to this side of the pole, not all, but many, will look for powerful people to overcome, to overtake. If they can overcome or overtake the powerful people, then they have that false sense of power that we have been talking about. They have this idea because now they're on this side of the pole. Now I'm powerful. But it's just a lie. How can you have power over an infinite being? That infinite being is infinite. There is no power over. We're of the same power. We're all powerful and power-filled, infinitely so. That person desiring to overtake you, they are power and you are power. And there is no greater, less than. It is just power. If you look at an energy grid, it's all power. We are all power. There is no actual power over anything. It is all an illusion. It's all a lie. When you can acknowledge that lie, when you can be with that acknowledgement truly, fully, and be the I am power that you are, in that full acknowledgement that you are, when someone comes at you with this intent to have power over, You will be aware of it. And then you can choose whatever you want to choose in that area. You can choose to play the game of being powerless. You can choose to play the game of being more powerful on this side. Or you can actually be willing to just be the space and allowance of, I am power. I am power. Say it again. I am power. I am power. I am power. I can't help but smile when I say it. And it involves no one else. When I am power, I am power. It is regardless of the rules and regulations around me. It's has nothing to do with the people in my life. It has to do with the acknowledgement of my empowered being. And then you become empowered. So when you are I am power, you become empowered. When you are powerless or having power over, you are never empowered. You get that? You are never an empowered being. You are looking to get out of this, to achieve this, and you're somewhere on this thread. You're never power empowered. When you are I am power and you acknowledge it as true, then you are empowered, and you are empowered to choose anything. And from that empowered space, you will choose that which will create a greater life for you, because you are empowered to do so. You're empowered to know all the choices that you have, not just the ones that are being presented to you by those that would like to have power over you. You can have this or this. What would you like for dinner? You can have this or this. Well, an empowered being would know that there's infinite choices for dinner, and that they can choose between the two options that have been presented, and they could create a new option that is empowered to choose infinitely. I am power. You are power. Now, I get it. You might be in a place where you feel very disempowered, where you feel limited, if not no choice. I have been there, my friend. I'm not speaking from a place where I was born into and grew up completely empowered, where I was always nurtured and my infinite being acknowledged. I have many, many, many times this lifetime felt completely powerless and struggled to survive that powerlessness. And in that survival, all I could do was to work towards finding my in-between of power, because I had no desire, and still do not. I've never had a desire to have power over anyone. It has not been interesting to me in any way. It's not been a desirable thing other than myself. Because I have worked very hard at overpowering myself through this lifetime. And that might be a whole nother podcast. We might not get there today. So I tried to find that balance, that in between. If I could get out of powerless and I could survive until I could be here, I thought I would be I am power, but I never was, because I'm always being pulled to one direction, and I have to work and I have to fight to not become powerless again, and to not allow myself to have power over, until I realized I could step out of this. I could just step out and go, that is not my reality. My reality is I am power, and I am an empowered being, and I will do what I can to show others that they are power by empowering them, not powering them, but empowering them. Empowering them and empowering myself to know that I have infinite choice, that I am an infinite being with infinite energy, infinitely. Infinitely. There is no end to your power as an infinite being. So in those moments of powerlessness, rather than looking for that which would give you a sense of power, would you be willing to just acknowledge that you already are? I am power. You can say it. You can say this over and over again. You can open yourself to the acknowledgement of the infinite being that you are, that empowered being that you are, that mega power. You are power. No one gives you power unless you're playing this game. And this game is a fucking lie. It is a trap to keep you doing this and never acknowledging this, that you are power. You are power. You don't gain it. It's not something you achieve. It's not given to the special ones. You are it. Just as energy is energy, you are power, as you are power. So then no one can take it away from you either. So from that space of I am power, you can start to, so say that again, I am power, and then ask yourself, what choices are available to me right now? You've just empowered yourself to know the choices available, not the choices that you have been told. Those can be included. But I dare you to be willing to see the choices that no one wants you to know that you have. I dare you to know all the choices available to you in that 10 seconds. And the moment you choose a single one of them, you open the door to thousands of more choices. And then you can ask the question, what choice do I have available now? And then you choose a single one and you open the door to thousands of more choices. I am power. I am power. I am power. What will you choose? And if you're on the other side and you're here and you've been having power over people, power over yourself, power over the system, if you've been power seeking, you might want to look. You might want to ask, is this achieving what you truly desire? Is it creating the future that you'd like to have here? Or would you like an empowered existence? Actually, beyond existence, an empowered living. Because here's the thing, no matter how much power you accumulate, you can accumulate all this money, you can accumulate this status, you can accumulate all these things that this reality tells you. Now you have power, now you have power. But the funny thing is, it can all be taken away. Every single ounce of it. Your money can disappear. Your status can disappear. Your health can decay. Your body can break down. Every single thing that you have accumulated to give you a sense of power can be ripped away from you no matter what you put in place, no matter what controls you put in place. But something that can never be taken away from you is I am power. Because whether you live on the street without a penny to your name, or you're in a palace with thousands of servants and anything in between, you are power. You are an empowered being. You are powered. You are your infinite source. Your own infinite source is here as your power, the power of you. Explore this more, if you will. Say this phrase over and over. This phrase, I am power. I heard it first from a book, and I'll put a link to the book. It's the How to Become Money workbook. It's an incredible resource. And this is one tiny molecule of what that book can offer you, with power, with control, and money from a different space other than power over. If you are so inclined, please check it out. And I would love to hear how this worked out for you. I'd love to hear if this gave you a greater sense of the power of you, because I truly desire a world full of empowered people that know that this game is just a lie. And we can all be empowered. And what would that world look like? A bunch of empowered, infinite beings? Yeah. Thank you again. And I'll see you in the next show. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?